in detail about the various stages of pregnancy. Hmm. Mute कीजिए विशाल. Various stages of pregnancy, and also we'll talk about what are the important functions of different organs and how it makes the fetus, the inborn child, healthy and breathing. So I would love to show you some videos on it. जो मैंने कल क्लास में बताया था या परसों बताया था मैंने क्लास में, उसी के ऊपर बेस करके मैं एक वीडियो लेकर के आया हूँ. एक या कई वीडियोस हैं, थोड़ा छोटे वीडियोस हैं, which will give you an absolute perfect idea what happened in the mother's womb during pregnancy. What really takes place during women's pregnancy is purely presented in a best possible manner. And of course, not only pregnancy, the full system and the full process of conception is also been given. Okay. So let's see the video first of all, and then we'll discuss. Okay. Are you ready? Say yes or
Yes,
no.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 If there would be any sound problem, please let me know. Okay.
Control V. Your microphone is on. Alt tab. JAWS home use. Alt tab. Meet dash F dash Drive dash and dash Google Chrome. Meet dash D. JAWS home use. Divvy restored. Enter. Divvy items.
Please ignore this sound. Okay. Please ignore this sound.
India vs Germany. Inside pregnancy underline meet. Enter. VLC media player. Inside.
Within a week of conception, your fertilized egg, known as a blastocyst, will make its way to your uterus. The egg is about the size of a pen tip. In days, the cells in the egg arrange themselves into groupings. The inner cell mass will become your baby. The outer cells will become the amniotic sac and placenta. The blastocyst then sheds its protective casing in a process called hatching and burrows into the lush uterine wall. Around week 5, your developing baby is the size of a sesame seed.
Space.
Wait.
Alt F4. Divvy items view multi. Inside pregnancy. Inside pregnancy underline weeks 15. Inside pregnancy underline weeks 21 dash. Inside pregnancy. Jericho dash island left parent log no copyright music right parent left parent 100. Inside pregnant. India vs Germany. Inside pregnancy underline weeks 1 dash 9 underline baby set.
Wait.
Alt tab. Meet dash F dash drive. Control V. Your microphone is up.
Yeah, right now what I'm going to show is that कि what happens during week 1 to week 9 है ना, उसमें क्या होता है वो मैं बताऊंगा, क्योंकि we have already discussed about how zygote takes place and how there is a conception, the process of conception takes place. मेरा एक वीडियो मुझे मिल नहीं रहा है जो कि पूरा प्रोसेस के ऊपर बहुत अच्छा वीडियो था. Anyways, when I'll find it, I'll show it. But now we're going to see the first 9 weeks of pregnancy.
Okay.
What takes place during first 9 weeks, right?
Sheds its protective mass will become your baby. The outer cells will become the amniotic sac and placenta. The blastocyst.
Space.
You will get the recordings also for this, for the same. So प्लीज इस पे फोकस कीजिएगा, नोट करने पे फोकस मत कीजिएगा. जो रिकॉर्डिंग है वो आप लोग लेकर के उसको नोट कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो इसको देखिएगा क्योंकि बहुत मुश्किल से ये वीडियोस अवेलेबल होते हैं. ठीक है.
Then sheds its protective casing in a process called hatching and burrows into the lush uterine wall. Around week 5, your developing baby is the size of a sesame seed. The cells that once formed the blastocyst's inner cell mass begin organizing and arranging, giving shape to the young embryo and forming primitive organs. Your baby's brain and spinal cord are visible through his translucent skin. Right around this time, your baby's circulatory system also forms, and his heart begins to beat. Your baby looks more like a tiny tadpole than a human. He's drawing nutrients and oxygen through the newly formed placenta and umbilical cord. By week 9, the embryonic tail is gone. Your baby's looking more human every day. With protruding limbs and fingers, a defined nose, mouth, and eyes, and tiny earlobes. Your new resident is about the size of a grape and weighs a fraction of an ounce. It's hard to believe how rapidly one cell evolves in such a short time into the unmistakable body of a baby.
Alt F4.
This was week 1 to week 9.
Inside pregnancy underline weeks 10-14.
Now we're going to see week 10 to week 14.
Inside pregnancy.
At 10 weeks and barely the size of a kumquat, your baby is entering the fetal stage of development. His facial features are defined, and his tooth buds are forming. Over the next weeks, his tissues and organs will rapidly grow and mature. The webbing is gone between his fingers and toes, and his nails and fingerprints are developing. Your baby can open and close his fists and curl his toes. Thanks to his developing muscles and reflexes, he's now moving his limbs and kicking up a storm. If this is your first baby, though, you likely won't feel his flutters until 18 to 20 weeks. Through translucent skin, his vital organs are visible and functioning, including his growing brain, nervous system, intestines, and liver, which is making red blood cells in place of the disappearing yolk sac. The umbilical cord is working hard now. One vein delivers oxygen and nutrient-rich blood to your baby. 2 arteries then carry the blood away. Around week 12, the kidneys have begun producing urine, which your baby will soon start excreting into the amniotic fluid. He'll swallow the fluid and the process will begin again. By week 14, your baby's eyes and ears have moved into place, and he can squint, frown, and grimace. You're now beginning the second trimester of pregnancy, which many women say is when they feel their best.
Alt F4. Items view multi-select list.
Now let's move on to the
Inside pregnancy underline weeks 15-20.
next spam, that is week 15 to week 20.
Enter. DLC media player. Inside pregnancy under.
Between 15 and 20 weeks, your baby will more than double in size. As his body grows, his nervous system is rapidly maturing. His nerves are connecting his brain to the rest of his body, traveling from the brain through the brainstem and down the spine, and beginning to extend into his torso and limbs. Your baby's skeleton is changing too. The soft cartilage is starting to harden into bone. This happens first in the arms and legs. Sensory development is picking up speed. Your baby's brain is designating special areas for smell, taste, hearing, vision, and touch. At this stage, your baby may be able to hear your heartbeat and voice, so read aloud or sing a happy tune. Your baby may even be sucking his thumb now. At about 18 weeks, you'll start to experience one of the most exciting parts of pregnancy, feeling your baby's movements. His flexing arms and legs may feel like gentle flutters at first. They'll become even stronger and more frequent in the weeks ahead. At 20 weeks, your baby weighs a little more than 10 ounces and measures about 10 inches from head to heel, about the length of a banana. This week is a big milestone, the halfway point in your pregnancy.
Alt F4. Divvy. Items view multi-select. Inside pregnancy underline weeks 21-20.
Now
Inside
next है
pregnancy underline weeks 21-27.
weeks 21 to 27. This is very critical. This is very important stage of child during pregnancy. Very critical. First 3 months, that is the first 12 weeks, and the last this 7 week, and then 28 to 32 weeks. तो वो भी बहुत critical होता है, लेकिन ये बहुत ज़्यादा है.
Enter. DLC media player.
Between 21 and 27 weeks, your baby's sense of touch is developing, along with his unique fingerprints. When you rub or gently press on your belly, you may feel your baby squirm or kick in response. He can feel his own face now, as well as anything within his reach, including the umbilical cord. He'll keep experimenting with and refining his sense of touch. Around 23 weeks, your baby can swallow. Soon after, you may notice fetal hiccups. Don't worry, hiccups are a normal part of development, and it's common for your baby to have them several times a day. His lungs are also forming millions of tiny branches called bronchioles. Incredibly, your baby is already practicing breathing by inhaling and moving small amounts of amniotic fluid in and out of his lungs. At 24 weeks, the baby is capable of surviving outside the uterus with significant medical help. At 27 weeks, your baby's eyelids may open as a reflex, but he can't see yet. His lips are formed, and he now has tiny taste buds on his tongue. He weighs nearly 2 pounds and is about 14.5 inches long. Now there's just one more trimester to go.
Alt F4. Divvy. Items view multi-select. Inside pregnancy underline weeks 28-37 underline baby center left. DLC media player. Pregnancy.
You and your baby are beginning your last trimester together. At 28 weeks, your baby weighs just over 2 pounds. He'll more than triple his weight between now and birth and build a layer of fat that will help keep him warm outside the womb. Your baby's skeleton is hardening. The bones in his head have not yet fused together, which will allow them to slightly overlap as his head passes through the snug space of the birth canal. Billions of neurons have developed and are firing in your baby's brain, creating essential connections that will help him learn in and outside the womb. Your baby can open his eyes now and see the light that filters through your womb. He can hear too, so go ahead and talk or sing to your baby. As your due date nears, your baby will shed small bits of vernix caseosa, the white cheesy substance that covers his entire body and protects his skin from the amniotic fluid he's floating in. Your baby swallows some of these bits, along with other secretions, which pass through his digestive system to become his first bowel movement. At 37 weeks, your baby's skin is pink and soft. He's looking less like a wrinkled alien and more like a baby. He's gaining nearly 1 ounce a day and weighs about 6 pounds. He's now considered full term. In preparation for birth, most babies will turn so their head is facing downward. Your baby will stay that way, head resting in your pelvic area, as he gets ready to greet the world.
Alt F4. Divvy. Item. Circle dash island left there and log no copyright music right there and left. Alt F4. Chrome button menu. Control V. Bookmark added dialogue. Escape. Chrome button menu. Customize. Alt tab. Jaws home use. Alt tab. Chrome button. Control V. Bookmark added dialogue. The navigate use tab. Escape. Chrome button menu. Loop. Control V. Your microphone is up.
So, how do you find this journey of human being inside the mother's womb? Interesting, miracle, or worth studying? How do you find it? कैसा लगा ये journey?
Worth studying.
Worth studying. बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो अभी स्टडी होनी बाकी हैं, बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो अभी हमें जानना बाकी है. We know very little about the time that we spend in our mothers. Remember anything? Yes, it is said that the child can listen during the mother's womb, scientifically unproven. Why it's unproven? क्योंकि कहते हैं कि जब कुछ आवाज होती है तो there is a movement within the mother. तो साइंटिस्ट या बहुत सारे थ्योरिस्ट हैं वो कहते हैं कि वो जरूर सुनता है, इसी वजह से वो आवाज पे मूवमेंट करता है. लेकिन कमिंग ऑन टू दिस पॉइंट, व्हेन यू मेक अ वॉइस देयर इज एन गस्ट ऑफ एनर्जी व्हिच इज रिलीज्ड. जब आप कोई आवाज करते हैं ना तो एक एनर्जी भी रिलीज करते हैं. ताली बजाएंगे ना तो जितनी तेज आवाज नहीं होती उससे ज्यादा जो है ना फ्रिक्शन पैदा होता है. क्या कोई भी चीज करेंगे तो पॉसिबिलिटी वहां पर ये भी है कि वो उस एनर्जी से उस फ्रिक्शन से उस फोर्स से भी वो रिएक्ट कर सकता हो. पॉसिबिलिटी ये भी है क्योंकि पैदा होने के बाद मैंने देखा है बच्चों को सोए रहते हैं, पूरा मस्त सोए रहते हैं. अब कितनी भी आवाजें होती रहे, मतलब शुरुआती दौर में पैदाइश के, उनको कोई फर्क वर्क नहीं पड़ता है, मस्त एकदम नींद में रहते हैं. So even I don't remember फाइका, है ना. काश I would have remembered, है ना, तो I would have written a poetry, है ना, उसके ऊपर एक बेहतरीन सी पोएट्री लिखा होता, है ना, the world from inside. तो एनीवेज मुझे नहीं लगता है किसी को कुछ याद रहता है. What I feel. क्यों भाई? साबरीन आपको याद है?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
याद है. यस सर बोल रही हूँ.
No, sir. No, sir. I don't remember anything.
Nobody remembers. ठीक है फाइका, I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, और कोई है, किसी के पास कोई सवाल है? Is there anyone who want to answer, have any question? Because we're going to wrap up.
मेरे पास क्वेश्चन है.
हाँ बोलो, नाम बोलो पहले.
मेरा नाम सर सोनू कुमार दास है, 78 रोल नंबर.
अरे यार रोल नंबर मत बताया करो, पहचान तुम्हारा नाम है, तुम्हारा रोल नंबर नहीं है. ठीक है सोनू, चलिए सोनू जी बोलिए.
पूछना चाह रहा हूँ, महाभारत में अभिमन्यु जैसा कि हम लोग सुने हैं कि वो चक्री तोड़ना सीखा था, वो अपनी माँ से सीखा था, ऐसे सुना है हमने.
Mahabharat, my dear friend, it is a story. It is a not story. It's an epic. Epic है वो. एपिक समझते हैं आप?
नो सर।
एपिक होता है पोइट्री का एक फॉर्म जो बहुत बड़ा होता है, वॉल्यूमिनिस्ट होता है, ठीक है?
सर कथा।
हाँ, कथा, राइट। एंड इट इज मैन और ह्यूमन बीइंग, इसको लिखा गया है, ह्यूमंस ने इसको लिखा है बेस्ड ऑन द नॉलेज दैट ही गॉट और परहैप्स ही मस्ट हैव गॉट फ्रॉम वेद, ठीक है? एंड talking about the specificity of your question, ki Abhimanyu has listened to the whole system, how to break the chakravyuh from his mother's womb, or rather क्वेश्चन ये नहीं होना चाहिए बल्कि मदर्स वूम में उसको सुनाया ही जाता है ताकि शायद वो आगे जाकर के वो चक्रव्यूह तोड़े। पर ये भी ज्यादा एक वर्जन ये भी है, मुझे नहीं पता कौन सा करेक्ट है। जैसा कि मैंने कहा कि एक इंसान के लिखा हुआ है, ये वेद से इन्फ्लुएंस चाहिए। वेद इज द ऑथेंटिक वर्जन ऑफ दिस सनातन धर्म। Hinduism is not a religion, it is a cultural identity. We all are Hindu. Everybody living in India is a Hindu because culturally people, civilizations residing in the Indus River civilization or Indus River is called Hindu. तो हिंद से आता है ये वर्ड हिंदू। तो एक्चुअली द धर्म इज सनातन और इसको एक इंसान ने लिखा है और आइडेंटिकल और ऑथेंटिसिटी जो इसकी है वो आती है वेद से, ठीक है? ऑल द 4 वेद, ऋग वेद, सामवेद, यजुर्वेद। तो ये ऑथेंटिसिटी कि क्या बच्चा सुन सकता है, क्योंकि अभिमन्यु ने भी सुना है। ये ऑथेंटिसिटी इवन इस्लाम में भी है। It is said that when you are pregnant, you must read out the Quranic verses to the child loudly, so that इतना loud हो कि आप जो है अगल बगल के जो लोग हों, आपके बगल में बैठा हुआ एक बंदा हो, वो सुन सके आपको। तो ये कहने का मकसद है कि जो आपके पहलू में जो आपके बच्चा है वो इस चीज को सुन सके, इसलिए इसको जोर से पढ़ना चाहिए। ये कुरान में कहीं नहीं लिखा है, इट्स नॉट रिटन इन कुरान, आई होप एंड आई गेस, बट इट इज देयर इन द अहादीस। सो यस, द चाइल्ड कैन हियर, यस, इस्लाम डू validates, yes, सनातन धर्म डू validates। So ये दो धर्म तो जब वैलिडेट कर रहे हैं तो there must be some reality behind it, तभी इसको वैलिडेट किया जा रहा है, तभी इस तरह की बातें कही जा रही है। तो याद रहना चाहिए, ये क्वेश्चन याद नहीं रहता है, लेकिन क्योंकि याद अगर रहता हो तो थोड़ा बहुत तो कुछ ना कुछ तो हम लोग, भले हम लोग बहुत बड़े पापी हों, लेकिन कुछ ना कुछ तो याद रहता ही। लेकिन हाँ, सुनाई देता है, ये भी कहीं ना कहीं पॉसिबल है। हो सकता है फ्रिक्शन, हो सकता है वॉइस, प्रूव्ड नहीं है, लेकिन इस्लामिक एंड वैदिक धर्म के अनुसार जो है इट इज वैलिडेटेड। समझ में आया सोनू?
यस सर।
और कोई?
Can we say that at that period of time, the child does not remember whatever has he listened?
Number
but,
one,
his
इंसान हर
values
जगह
get
अपनी
developed. Can we say that?
I love to answer.
सर जैसे सब कोई नॉर्मली बोलते हैं, वो जो बच्चा होता है उसको जब वो पैदा होता है उसका 3 महीने के बाद उसको थोड़ा थोड़ा क्लियर दिखना शुरू होता है। तो आप जो फिल्म स्टोरी बताए, तो वो जब अपने मम्मी के पेट में था तो फिर वो 2 लोगों को देखा।
एक मिनट, नाम बोला तुम अपना?
शीतल।
शीतल, मैंने जो बताया ना वो बॉलीवुड था, वो है ना, डोंट टेक इट सीरियसली, है ना?
ठीक है सर।
हाँ, तो फिर खैर क्वेश्चन बोलो।
क्वेश्चन ये था कि तो नॉर्मली सबको बोलते हैं कि 3 महीना के बाद बच्चों को थोड़ा थोड़ा क्लियर दिखना शुरू होता है, बट आपने जो स्टोरी बताया उसमें आपने बताया कि वो जब वॉर्म में था तभी वो 2 जन को देख लिया, तो वो कैसे पॉसिबल है?
It's Bollywood.
It can happen only in India. मैंने ये भी तो बताया था ना, it happens only in India, है ना. हिंदुस्तान में ये सब possible है. There is nothing impossible in India, really. You know, I am possible. Now, एक चीज आपको यहाँ बता दें कि आप जैसा बोल रहे हैं कि 3 महीने के बाद दिखना शुरू होता है. There is some factual, discrepancy on this. Actually, 3 महीने के बाद बच्चा पहचानना शुरू करता है. ऐसा नहीं उसको दिखता नहीं है, हैं? शीतल, I'm referring to you. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं है कि उसको दिखता नहीं है, उसको दिखता है. अब ऐसा नहीं है. 3 महीने के बाद पहचानना शुरू होता है. आइडेंटिफिकेशन उसका लेवल जो शुरू होता है ना, वो 3 मंथ्स के बाद होता है. हाँ, बोलो.
नहीं हो गया.
हाँ, हो गया. Okay. Is there anyone else? विशाल?
Yes, sir.
तुमको कुछ नहीं पूछना है?
No, sir.
नहीं, very good. Generally, women are more curious over here, है ना? एक सोनू जी थे थोड़े से. और किसी को कुछ पूछना है? Say yes or no.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, with this we come to the end of this particular chapter. That is, देखो पढ़ाना तो बहुत था इसमें, लेकिन क्या करें, कितना पढ़ाएं. मैं पूरा सेमेस्टर एक ही चीज पढ़ा के खत्म कर सकता हूँ. Every day I'll come up with something new. लेकिन मसला यहाँ पर ये है ना कि और भी तो हैं चीजें, उनको भी तो नजर डालना पड़ेगा, उनके भी तो देखना पड़ेगा. अब हम आएंगे अगली चीज पे, उसके ऊपर बात करेंगे, है ना. एंड we'll talk about those things again in the next class. So next chapter हम लोग लेंगे next class में. And I think मेरी क्लास जो है वो फिर से छुट्टियों में पढ़ रही है, तो छुट्टियों में पढ़े या ना पढ़े, क्लास होगी और उसी टाइम पे होगी. ठीक है. If somebody has any problem, then like I'm talking about Thursday, not one. Thursday वो क्लास होगी और उसी टाइम पे होगी. अगर आप लोग को कोई प्रॉब्लम हो तो हम क्लास शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं टाइमिंग, लेकिन क्लास होगी. ओके एवरीवन?
Yes,
So
sir.
with this,
Okay, sir.
I really extend thanks to all of my students for raising such a nice, such a important question. ठीक है.
सर थर्सडे को अपने टाइम टेबल पे होगी.
थर्सडे को टाइम पे ही होगी. आई गेस छुट्टी है थर्सडे को, तो अगर चेंज करना हो तो बता देना कुछ ऊपर नीचे. टेक्निकल टीम्स हमको कन्वे कर देगी कि कितने बजे क्लास करना है. आप लोग एक बार डिस्कस कर लेना. अगर छुट्टी हो तो, अगर छुट्टी होगी तभी टाइम चेंज हो सकता है, नहीं होगी तो नहीं हो सकता है. वैसे सुबह से आप लोग की सारी क्लासेस हुई होंगी आई गेस.
फर्स्ट क्लास नहीं हुआ.
एक्सेप्ट वन.
फर्स्ट नहीं हुआ. अच्छा,
सर
किसकी
थर्सडे
क्लास?
को 10.
सत्या मैम का क्लास नहीं हुआ सर.
अच्छा, ओके, कोई बात नहीं, नो प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है, अपना ख्याल रखिए. कोविड बहुत फैला हुआ है. सुरक्षित रहिए, सचेत रहिए और सावधान रहिए. आई गेस मैंने सही बोला. हाँ, सही बोला. ओके विशाल, स्टॉप द रिकॉर्डिंग. थैंक यू एवरीवन.
Thank you, sir.